Hi, my name is Jess Regan, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to prep 3 fresh fruits for your week. Now, when it comes to healthy living, one of the most important things is to be ready. You need to be prepared each week with healthy snacks, otherwise you're going to go for whatever's easy and convenient, and that's not always the most healthy thing. So be ready, and each week spend about an hour to 2 hours prepping your food, and you'll be ready to go. Nothing wrong with it. It's a less expensive way to go. It's an easier way to go, and once you get into a routine, it's a fun way to go. I love my prep time every week. I kind of know what I'm doing. I try some new things out, but I have my old go-tos and my favorites, and this fruit is one of them. So there are ways to spruce it up, and there are ways to simplify it. But I'm going to go today with 3 easy and low-cost fruits: a cantaloupe, a pineapple, and a watermelon. They're easy and quick to prep. What I have set up at my station today is I have a cutting board. I have a very sharp, large knife. I have a small knife. I have a spoon to scoop. And I have 4 different Pyrex containers. I have one that I'm going to put a medley, and then one that I'm going to put cantaloupe, 1 pineapple, and 1 watermelon. My husband and myself and my son really like the mix, but my daughter likes them separate. So I like to have a mixture of everything. It's also important to keep them separate if you want to use them for certain recipes and the blend's not going to work well together. So we're going to go ahead and roll up our sleeves and get started. The first thing is always make sure to wash your hands. I keep my hair pulled back for my cooking. And we're going to start. So for the cantaloupe, what I do is I simply cut down the middle. So I'm going to slice this in half, and then I'm going to work half at a time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and scoop out the insides of this. And I just realized I didn't bring an extra bowl, so I have an extra napkin, and I think I have some paper towels in the store I do, so I'm just going to scoop them out into a paper towel, but I totally recommend having a bowl to use. But so that I don't have to start over, we're going to just do this. This is how improvising. Alright, so now I'm going to set this up, and this is going to be where I just dump the insides out. And I'm just going to take my spoon and I'm going to scoop out the middle, and really quickly I will take out all the seeds and dump them over here. All right, there we go. And then I just simply flip this over onto my cutting board and I start cutting off the top. So I'm cutting down all the outside skin. And for me, I just found this to be the easiest and quickest ways. I'm sure there's 100 ways to skin a cat, or AKA skin a cantaloupe. Please don't skin cats. That's not cool. But many ways to skin a cantaloupe. And same thing goes with the other fruits. I'm just going to show you how I do it when I do my prep, but I find works really easy. So when you're doing any knife work, always make sure to be careful. Watch your fingers. Don't go fast at the expense of your fingers. It's the time that you save is, very minimal compared to the time that you're going to have to spend in the hospital if you do chop off or slice your finger too badly. So make sure you go at the speed that is adequate for you. All right, so we're just going to continue through here and cut this. So I want to make sure all the green is cut off. So I have a nice colorful orange on the outside of all the different areas, and I can kind of go back and clean up any areas that I see have the green or any of the brown outside. But that part doesn't taste as good, so you want to just make sure you're taking the time to go. And I always leave the top on just to give me a point to be able to hold onto while I'm cutting. Alright, so that's good. And then when it looks like I'm done with everything, then I come across, I'll hold it on the sides and come across, just very slowly working it. Don't go too fast because you do not want your knife to fly out. This might be also a good time to just use your small paring knife, and you can come through. So now you can see I have pretty much all of the green off. So I have the green off, and I have it all scooped out and ready to go. And then I just simply cut 1, 2, 3, let's see, 4, 5, 6, easy peasy. And then I'll move these guys to the side, and I just cut these into blocks really quickly. Again, watch those fingers though. And I'm going to start just filling up my cantaloupe. So again, just cutting and watching those fingers. Now, one of the things that I have that I'm not using today, but I do like to use, especially if I'm letting my kids use the knives, is I have a metal glove that helps prevent any sort of slicing of fingers. I actually really like to use it when I'm using my grater or my mandolin, or I let my kids use it when they're doing any sort of knife work. So I'm going to just go ahead and fill this up, but you can see how fast this is. It's a matter of minutes, and then before you know it, I have this cut up, and you can cut it up smaller if you like, or you can always cut these different ways. Sometimes I scoop out the middle and then I use my melon baller. My son really likes the fun feel to the melon balls, but I don't like that as much. It takes more time. You could do these thinner. You can make them ready for a nice cold salad. These are perfect size though if you want to put them in the blender for smoothies, and also for just eating plain as a snack. I love cantaloupe. I didn't used to love melons. I don't know when my taste buds changed, but now they're one of my favorite snacks, especially when I come home from working out and I'm hot and I just want something really smooth and satisfying, cold. I find they're really nice, and they're actually really good frozen too. All right, so you can see half of a cantaloupe filled up one jar, or one Pyrex container. So I'm going to go ahead and do that second half very quickly. I put my spoon somewhere. Here it is. It was under the scraps. All right, so that was pretty fast. We're going to go ahead and do the second one. And same routine. So this is where I'm saying, like, you can come by with the melon baller and do it here. But again, I just find that this is faster. And when I'm doing my prep work for the week, I just want to, get as much done as I can at the quickest pace I can. And, I don't want to spend my whole entire weekend in a kitchen. As much as I love cooking, I don't really want to be stuck in there on the weekend. So having things ready is just so important. And then these are really great snacks to send to school, especially, I don't know how your schools are, but we have nut-free rolls in our school, and being a mostly vegetarian, vegan household, we use a lot of nuts for our snacks and in our sauces. And so having something that's an easy go-to snack like fruit for school lunches is really important for our family. So I'm not sure if you guys experience the same thing, but it's really good to have. Again, being very careful at that top, just going really slowly, and then I'm ready to get this sliced up. And I'm going to actually go a little bit different so I don't have all those big pieces. And now I'm just going to add this over into my bowl for my mixed fruit. Get that ready. And I find doing this is actually very cathartic. A lot of times when I'm doing my prep work, I will put a audiobook on. My library streams them for free, so I can get really great audiobooks. I put my headphones on, and I just go into my zone, so I have me time. And you don't really have to think when you're prepping, especially things like fruit. You don't have to think too much. Watch your fingers, be mindful of what you're doing. Don't get too lost. I don't want anybody losing a limb or a finger, no digits missing, but definitely give it to you as you time, make it special, make it yours. And you can just kind of go into this methodic routine of getting the fruit ready. I just find it's very enjoyable. It's good. I'm trying to fill these. This is a good amount. I might have, if I was in my kitchen and I was close to my other containers, I might pre-fill one or two for the kids' lunches or my husband's lunch, just because my bowl's getting a little full, but that's good. We're done with this guy. I can close it up. This will go in the fridge and be all ready for snacks. And then this guy's about 1/3 full. Now, we do the watermelon the exact same way. So I always kind of slice in first and then give it like a rocking back and forth. And then I pull up, rock back and forth, pull up, rock back and forth. You can hear it kind of cracking. And I tend to buy the small kind of mini watermelons only because the big ones with our family of 4, as much as we eat fruit, I don't seem to go through them as fast. Maybe in the summertime a little bit more when we're like out by the pool and we have more people we're sharing our fruit with. But I don't like fruit going bad. I don't like food going bad and wasting it. So I'd rather get the small ones, and right now they're about the same price at the store. So I don't find that I have you know, that it's not a hard decision. Now, if the bigger ones are less money or they look better, then I might buy them, and I can always freeze cubes. They slush up really nice into a nice kind of frozen drink, and you can add some lime and some mint, and it's really, really good. It also works really well in any sort of smoothie. All three of these fruits can be frozen and thrown into smoothies very easily. So it's really nice and easy. But you see, I just follow the same pattern as I did with my cantaloupe. I'm going to come over and use the paring knife for these small bits. But that's it. And I have this all sliced and ready to go. And so I'm going to slice down again and cutting these things up into cubes. Add that to my fruit salad one now. Just goes. And again, you can change how big or how small you like your fruit cut up depending on your personal preference. But I just kind of go in, you know, easy bite size, you know, good with a fork, but also easy to eat with your fingers sizes. I love fruit. I love food. I love healthy food. You know, it's one thing as we have really, sorry, let me not talk with a full mouth. As we've really changed our diets, your taste buds just get so used to the healthy foods and you crave it, and your body, it just is so healing and so much better for you. Your body just naturally craves it. So now, like this week, the kids had brought home some candy, and I don't usually touch candy. But I took one piece from the kids. They had given it to me, and they were like really offended that I didn't want it. And I was like, all right, I'll have it. You know, I haven't had it in a while. I feel like I could taste the artificialness of it. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, this is so delicious. Now I have no desire for it. I don't want to say no desire, actually. That's not true. Sometimes those commercials, the marketing, they still get to me. And then I try something and I'm like, oh, that just doesn't have the satisfaction or appeal that it used to have. So remember, when you are starting a new lifestyle in the sense of healthy eating, you have to give yourself time for your taste buds to get used to it. And before you know it, you will be, and you'll be craving it, and you'll have more energy, and you'll feel good, and hopefully your pants will fit better, and just overall your health and your well-being is just so much better. But like I said, a huge piece of it is going to be preparation. You can't just expect grocery stores to have easy grab-and-go things. You know, our society is not set up for health and wellness yet. I hope one day it will be. I hope one day fast food is full of healthy options, but we're just not there yet, you know. So one day, my fingers are still crossed. But until then, just prep. Get a good lunchbox and bring things with you. It's not hard. I make meals for all four of us every morning, and I don't get up any earlier than I have to. I just have things ready to go, shove them in lunch containers, and I'm done. I mean, I get up usually at like 7:20, and sometimes I hit the snooze a couple times, and I have my kids out the door by 8:10. So, and that's with breakfast and lunches for my entire family. It's just all about putting a little effort in on the front end and then being ready to knock it out at game day. You know, you can't go into the big game without any practice or preparation. So why do we do that in life, right? So we need to really focus on a little bit of effort going into it. Now on this one, I'm filling up my containers way too fast. So I'm going to have some leftovers. So I'm just going to do that after the tutorial. So I have an actual extra sheet here, and I'm just going to put these over here. In fact, I might even just put these, my kids would love these big chunks. And I think I'm going to put them in the container of their own and let my kids have at it. One thing they also love with watermelon is if you cut it in half, and actually I do it more like 1/3 of the watermelon. They love taking a spoon and eating it like a bowl. And I do too. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, even in your late 30s. So again, I'm done with that. I got 2 done, and I'm 2/3 of the way for that. Now, pineapple, I always found this so tricky to do watermelon. How exactly do I get the most out of it? How do I do it? I was even given at one point a pineapple like cutter, and it just didn't work for me. It was too hard. So what I do, again, this is maybe not the best thing, but this is how I do it, and it works, and it's fast for me. if you cut off the tops, if you have your own property and you have the patience and the time and you're there, you can throw the top in the soil, in about a year and a half, 2 years down the road, you could have your own pineapple plant. It's really cool. They grow out like this on the top and make a big green plant, and then the pineapples hang off. Now that depends on where you live. I did this when we were living in Florida, which is obviously good tropical weather. If you're living, you know, right now we're in DC, that's not going to happen. I also live in a tiny apartment, so that's not going to happen for many reasons. I cut off the bottom here, and then I just do the same thing kind of that I did with the other fruit, and I cut off the sides. I try to do it thin so I don't lose too much, and honestly, sometimes I come back and I eat this. I probably will. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's messy, but I really do try to get the most out of the fruit as possible. So I'm really trying to go thin, and I can always come back and clean up. So you can see how thin that is, and there's very little fruit waste on it. So, and it's so important for this type of thing to have good knives. Just get 1 or 2 really good knives. Be careful, keep them sharp. When they're new and they're sharp or just sharpened, man, they can do some damage. So again, having that glove, that metal glove, can be really good if you're not used to it. Just protect yourself. Your hands and your body is so important. These are tools, but they're also weapons. So be so careful. And you know, if you're working with your kids, super careful on your knife skills. It really does worry me a little bit. All right, so you can see that was pretty fast. We just kind of like sawed off that. The pineapple, I have to come back sometimes and just clean up the bottoms a little bit. And sometimes I'll have a little bit more of the brown kind of spikes area, so we want to make sure that we get those off. And you're better off cutting away from yourself. I don't always do that. I'm a troublemaker. But it's a safer way because you don't want the knife obviously to come towards you. You want it to go away from you. So I have a little bit more here that I'm going to cut down on where I have a little bit of the remnant brown. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and then the pineapple has more kind of just stuff that you don't want to eat that comes off. So I had brought over my extra cutting board to switch it out for this part, but since I'm using it now for my watermelon, I'm just going to flip it over and use the back end. So now the pineapple has a core that goes through that's not as edible. So you kind of want to cut around it. So if you see there's like a circle, you can see here, it's like a circle here. So I'm just going to cut down the side best I can, and I get a nice big chunk. And then I'm going to turn it around, do the same thing, kind of watching where that is. Then I get a nice big chunk. And then I do the 2 sides, big chunk, and the final one. And what I typically do is either me or one of the kids will come back and eat this, and I'll have this as my snack after this video is done. And I eat that, and you just kind of eat it around like kind of like an apple core would be. So then I just cut these guys up real easy into these cubes. Again, fantastic. So good. That was so sweet. And I'm going to add it. And you can always add more fruit to this if you want to really up your game on a fruit salad. You know, put some kiwi in it, some berries, some grapes, whatever you have. But I find this just really easy to go. You know, 3 fruit salad. And we'll put it out for snacks on the weekends or give it to the kids or my husband, you know, for work or for school. But that's done. And then we're going to really quickly fill our last Pyrex, and that's it. So you can see it doesn't take too long, and I have 4 containers worth of fresh fruit that's ready to go. I can use it for meals, smoothies, eating just plain fruit salads. It's great to have on hand too, especially that fruit salad. If you get a last minute invite somewhere, it makes a great appetizer and it makes a great dessert. So having this prepared and ready to go is just really a game changer for me. And it really doesn't take much time. Most of these fruits cost about $3 a piece. Sometimes they're a little higher or lower depending on the season and the sales. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead. This is really juicy, so I'm going to wipe my hands. But in that small amount of time, I got 4 Pyrexes worth of prepped fruit, and I'm done for my week in regards to fruit. I also stock my fridge with other fruits like oranges that don't have to be prepped, apples that I just wash the whole bag and then throw them in there ready to go, pears, I'll get berries and whatnot, and I'll just kind of use those as we go. So easy peasy and inexpensive and delicious. You just have to take the time to do it. So I really encourage you to do this, make part of your routine. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know this is kind of a silly video for those of you who I already know how to cut fruit, but what I'm trying to show you is not necessarily exactly how to show you how to cut, but just how I do it and how quickly it is and how fast it is to get done, because I really want to motivate you to make some life changes, to be prepared, to save money and to really work towards good health. So I'd love to hear your comments, any questions, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it and feel free to subscribe to my channel. All right, thanks guys. So good. Seriously, so good. It's like corn on the cob with pineapple. Don't forget to subscribe.